Welcome to Toffee Blue View, your source for all things Everton. I'm Gerry. Got David and Max here. Welcome, gentlemen. I wish today came under better circumstances, where we weren't so angry with the world, but it's the way it is. Just be comforted by the fact that you didn't have to deal with what Edward had to deal with. Edward went the game, traveled all the way to London, watched that, stayed overnight, only got like 4 hours of sleep, went back and ran a 10K the next morning. All right? So yeah, Edward, I hope you're recovered, man. Yeah, no kidding. So who wants to start this? I know all three of us have been completely just chomping or champing, depending on where you're from, at the bit to vent and get something out about this. Who wants to start?
Dave is returning, isn't he? Let him open it up on his return.
And I think he's been saving it too.
I was waiting for something a little bit more overwhelming from Gerry, but I didn't really get anything there on me trying. So yeah, thank you. I'm glad you got the memo. I know I said no cards or flowers, but I expected something. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not going to go on here because I think we've all got a lot to say. So, it was just painful again, utterly embarrassing. Once again, we did it on the national stage for everybody to watch it. I felt really sorry for Walcott that he's gone back to his old team. And he must just been thinking, what have I done here? I think, once again, Aldi's got it all wrong. Wrong team selection. Wrong everything, really. But I just think the players, again, too many of them are just down the tools, going through the motions. And they seem to be getting away with it because they're fortunate enough that we've got Allardyce in that nobody wants. And he's making mistakes and everyone's picking up on them. But I think more blame needs to land at the feet of the players. We've had 3 managers in charge now. All right, one was on the Instagram, and they've just done these type of performances all year, painfully embarrassing performances, and that's exactly what Saturday was again, woeful.
Max.
Well, if you're gonna blame the players, there, I'm gonna take my turn to have a little go at Allardyce, because after that Leicester performance, to show that at Goodison and look like we've got a bit about us, and then to come up against Arsenal, completely change the system, which just baffled me. Why would you go 3 at the back? One lad's only had 1 training session with the squad. The other 2, Williams and Keane, aren't comfortable when playing 3 at the back. I think I said when we were previewing the match, I wouldn't be in favour of us going 3 at the back, because we never really seem comfortable whenever we try and adopt that system. And so obviously, the first half was absolute shambles. I mean, and Arsenal, they weren't well beaters by any means. They were just passing through the lines, simple balls that were just cutting us apart. But for me, I know the performance picked up a little bit, particularly with the inclusion of Tom Davies in the second half. But that's no excuse not to change the system completely. He should have the lad should have come in at half time, and Allardyce should have went, right, we tried to replicate what Swansea did. It didn't work. Okay, let's go back to what worked against Leicester. And granted, it still might have ended up 5-1, maybe even worse, but at least it would have been a system that the players are familiar with and the players knew how to operate within. Yeah, I know David feels like a lot of blame should lie at the feet of the players, but I think Allardyce needs to show some accountability for his tactical selections.
It's not that just before you go in, Gerry, it's not that I think it's all on the players. I definitely agree with Allardyce. I just feel like too many of them are hiding behind the blame for Allardyce, because we all know Allardyce is completely fucked up again. I totally agree with everything you said. It was a shocking team selection. Why he changed it, I don't know, but just in terms of, at the end of the day, once they cross that white line, these are professional footballers. Even if you're getting told to play a certain way, they all know how to play football. And yet we've been 5-1 Saturday, Atalanta have done the same to us. Southampton. We're not talking about Arsenal this year. Haven't been a great side. We're not talking about elite teams here. We're talking about average sides, and I'll let Gerry. I mean, I'm sure we're going to go back to it, so I'll see what Gerry has to say. But I just think they're getting away with too much, the players this year.
I don't think that was the worst Everton performance I've seen this season. I don't. Here's why. I swear I can back it up. Okay, I swear. All right.
Press on here.
Okay, so first of all, I put the majority of the blame on Big Sam as well. I do. All right. I think he didn't think we had a chance. I think he had no faith in our players, and so he sat there and stacked the back, thinking we'll defend, and maybe get a 0-0 draw. I don't think he gave us a chance because I don't think he thought it was winnable. I think he's benching players for the next game. Rooney, Sigurdsson, he's got these players just kind of, he put them in cold storage for a little while to bring them back for a game that he thought was more winnable, more achievable. Because he's playing the averages. He's playing the points, all right? But if he'd have just gone four at the back, look what happened when he went four at the back at halftime, brought Davies in, right? Wasn't it at halftime? Keane went off and Davies came in?
Yeah.
The second half is a pretty even half. We hit the post in addition to scoring a goal. We didn't just create the one goal opportunity. We had other chances. We didn't play bad for second half. It was not the worst. We played better that half. There were games this season where we played two shit halves. Total shit halves. Where we got nothing on goal. Didn't get a sniff. And the scorelines were similar. So I think this was actually not as bad as some of those. All right? I think Allardyce was the one I was most angry with. All right? And the players, David, you're right. Everybody has seen that ridiculous short video of Schneiderlin not pressing Mkhitaryan when I retweeted it. I usually don't tweet a lot of Everton stuff when it comes to criticism just because I save it for here. But Schneiderlin did exactly what we said last week when we were talking about this, about why you don't play him right now. It's because he's walking and jogging and half-assing it, and it's frustrating to see. So yeah, some players deserve some blame. I don't even blame Mangala that much. I saw people slating Mangala, Keane, Schneiderlin, Williams, and Big Sam. And for me, the most at fault is Big Sam because of that lineup. Because Arsenal, their midfield, guys, their midfield's what ripped us a new one. And our defensive line was so packed back, that middle part is what just trimmed us a new freaking tree. Yeah. Oh my God. Okay, I'm babbling. I'm saying everything right now, so I need to stop and share the floor so somebody else talk.
It's so annoying. I do agree with the Perry's. I really do. I know for a fact he's got it wrong again, but it's what I expect from him. That's the type of manager he is. He's not good enough. Nobody's saying Everton are the biggest club, and we know our level. We're somewhere in behind the top six, trying to break that mould. Obviously, we haven't even been that this year. So we know we're not one of the biggest clubs in the country anymore, but I still believe Everton are a level above anything Allardyce will ever be able to achieve, and that's been proven by his mentality going into these bigger games. And, we our record's crap against the top six, but it's not by choice. It's just we've still got these mental issues, but I still feel like we've always had more of a go than we have on Saturday and under him. Because we're not even talking about top six games, we're talking about away games in general. He doesn't want to know them. He just wants to beat teams below us or in and around us in the Premier League and just get the victories there and kind of stumble our way to the end. Because the irony is, this year, top 7 is still achievable. We're not talking as if we're 13th and the best we can do is just kind of avoid relegation. Everyone around us is dropping points. We could finish top 7 this year, but...
Yeah, and David, to be an interrupting dick, Allardyce literally said this season is a write-off. He literally said those words.
Yeah, he did. You're right. He said that, and that once again reiterates the point I'm trying to make. And, but just quickly before, as I said, I don't want to hog the air here, but... we're talking about that result 5-1. Yeah, Allardyce definitely to blame. But what I'm talking about in terms of the players was Arsenal come to Goodison, scored 5 goals. You know, Atalanta done it. We got beat 3-0 by Atalanta. You know, how many times have we been beat by 3 or more goals this year by bog standard teams? And these aren't Allardyce teams. These are with other managers. For me, the players just getting away with too much. I think the players are getting away with too much.
I agree they're not blameless. I will agree with you. If we love to point the fingers, so if I'm gonna point the finger, I start with Allardyce, but I'm like, you guys are not blameless in this. You know what I mean? It's like an argument between two children. Be like, I know you started it, and damn it, it's your fault, but you're not helping. You know what I mean? So you both get grounded.
Well, in terms of and not just under Allardyce either, but the team selection surely can't help either, because I can't remember the exact number, but the amount of players that we've used and the amount of different, say midfield and centre back partnerships that we've used this season, it's just been absurd, and I don't know how any consistency is meant to breed from chopping and choosing who you field every week. I think we were so, I don't even know what the right word is. We were enthusiastic. I'd say that after the Leicester game, because we saw a team that looked like they were on the same wavelength almost. Particularly down that right hand side. Where was Seamus Coleman?
I heard he was ill. That he was.
He?
Yeah, Allardyce came out and said he was ill like yesterday, I think.
Well, Seamus Coleman was out, and then obviously with the 3 in the back, and obviously that means Martina and Kenny are going to be pinned back as well. It leads to no one's there to link up or string a few passes together, and I don't know. I mean, I don't want to slag players' technical ability off, because obviously to be playing Premier League football, you've got to be a certainly talented individual. But I don't know why Yannick Bolasie was in the side either. It really just doesn't look like he's up to speed since coming back from his injury.
Agreed.
So, and like David said, we're going into these big games, and particularly with Big Sam as the manager, the write-offs before a ball's even kicked. And that is not a mentality that you want a manager of Everton Football Club to have, and it's certainly worrying. And I really am praying, because as the more time goes on, the more I'm uncertain. Will he still have is he still going to be our manager going into next season? And I hope not, but that might be the case.
Yeah, I mean, I don't. I mean, I see a lot of people saying, look, don't be surprised if he's still here next season. I don't see how that will happen. I got to be honest. I don't think Moshiri likes results like this. I think he finds it embarrassing. I think he does have some pride, even though he does say that games like this are expected losses. You know what I mean? He did say that at one point. But I do think I don't think Allardyce was really his choice. I think, and I'm being honest here, guys, and I'm just some American. I don't know shit. But my guess, seriously, is that they looked at it and they were like, you know what? We'd rather not go down and be able to get our real choice later. Okay?
Yeah. There wasn't no options at the time. Everyone forgets.
Yeah.
Silva was. I still think Silva was probably a plan C, really. If you could have any manager to choose from, that was realistic. But we went so hard after him, we didn't get him. And I think we even did say, now we're running out of options here. It's going to end up being someone like Allardyce, who we didn't want. And then, unbelievably, it did happen. But, I hope that isn't the case, Max, because I don't think it will. I remember us having a conversation where we were saying we need to do this, that, and that for Allardyce to even be considered to still be here next season, and he hasn't done any of those things.
Nowhere close.
Yeah, we've been getting hammered in big games. We got knocked out of the FA Cup in the third rounds. We're faltering the league. He's done nothing to really earn himself any sort of longevity, I think.
Yeah. I think he'll be gone. You hear rumblings and rumors that we've already made agreements with other managers, and that's going to happen once the season ends. Allardyce doesn't know it though, and if he does, he's not letting on, because
I think he does. I think he honestly does.
Well, he talked about planning for next year. Like, he very specifically was talking about that, and immediately I was like...
Yeah, that was something that kind of was on my radar when I was talking about that. And when I seen that, when he mentioned we need to stop, the fact that he used "we" as well, when how often in his press conferences did he turn it into his own personal agenda? Like, oh, I don't like the way we have to play on deadline day. I don't like this. I don't like that. But all of a sudden, we need to get ready for next season. He's a glorified, I know I'm always going to use that term that you use, David, he's a glorified interim manager, and my worries that I had before he was even appointed are just flourishing before my eyes, and it's painful to see.
Well, what I thought was kind of a real testament to the character he is. And I mean, I don't know, maybe he does believe what he's saying, but do you notice the way he shifted all fault possible in his post-match interview, and he basically said, listen, I'm doing my part. These guys aren't doing their part.
Yep.
But the irony is, and as you two both said more than anyone, we can blatantly see that you've completely got the line wrong. You've set up wrong, and we've been punished big time for it. So that doesn't wash. As I keep saying, Evertonians aren't fit. We have our faults, but we know football, and you can't pull the wool over our eyes. So for him to try and then, shake off all blame just says a lot about him, in my opinion.
It made me very angry. Because, I mean, you can literally, if there's one thing you can prove by watching that game, one thing is that there was a change made at halftime and the play shifted. That is a simple, easy thing to watch and prove. You can just look at the numbers. 4-0 one half, 1-1 second half. You can literally just look at the score and know that it was better play the second half. Just by doing that. And so what was the one thing that changed? Davies came in, and we stopped doing 5 at the back, and we went to, or 3, whatever. It's pretty much 5, let's be honest, and went to 4. And Davies went in there and was pushing the ball forward. He looked great, by the way. I mean, he wasn't like a world beater, but he was somebody with a little balls in there, right? That was nice.
Yeah. Well, what excuse did he use for changing the team? Has he used one, or did he just?
He tried to replicate Swansea, so that was pretty much his. Any hint of blame that was on him, that was him just saying we tried to replicate Swansea, it didn't happen, and it's their fault for it not happening. So to be honest, like you're saying there about the second half, Gerry, I think it just goes to show what Everton have been like this season. I lost interest. I think I watched like the first 5-10 minutes of the second half, and even then I was thinking, you know what, I can't be asked. I turned Leipzig on and watched Leipzig, and Adam Lutman come on, and I thought, you know what, he knows how to make his mark on his debuts. Comes on last 10 minutes and scores the winner, but apparently because he didn't cost 30 million, he wouldn't have made an impact on that game.
Yeah.
But to be honest with you, I've said this. This one of my points has been about Lutman moving away. Is I'm happy for the lad. Why would you want to be anywhere near the club during this period? Really, it seems like a really just not an ideal place for a young player, particularly of the talents of Adam Lutman, to be around. And I don't blame him for forcing a move to Germany.
Yeah,
I found it really funny that Allardyce was trying to, be so negative about the fact that he picked Leipzig over Derby County, as if like, we did say this to him. Well, I don't know why he chose that. Like, 3rd in the Bundesliga or go down to the Championship, and you can talk about getting to know the English game, but I think you'll learn so much more at Leipzig than you will in Derby. And plus, you want to be involved in those kind of games. I don't want him playing in front of 15, 16,000 every week in the Championship when he could be, playing in front of thousands in the Bundesliga.
Hey, is he technically cup tied with Europa League, or can he, or does that reset after that round?
Should be cup tied, I think, because I know Klassen had issues with Napoli. Well, they said that was it was,
but
yeah, it was meant to be something else. But
yeah, I don't really know. I read several places where they said that Lookman was going to get some Europa League time, but I was like, hold on, how is that legal? But you know how sometimes that resets after a certain amount of games? So I don't know when that happens. So a couple of things we do need to bring up. Cuca Martina got the assist with his left foot. What?
Off the goal.
Yeah.
Yeah, the cross.
Yeah.
With his left foot. I shit you not. So that happened. That was a thing. Cuco Martina, you're welcome for my Christmas present that I just gave you. That's right. I expect a thank you letter, Cuco. Next, we have to bring up the fact that Arsenal's third goal, brutally, was it third or fourth goal? Brutally offside. Aubameyang gets his first goal for Arsenal, and it was nowhere close. It was not. I could have called it, and I'm the worst referee like ever. Terrible.
At the end of the day, they happen though. I don't like lingering on officials' errors or things like that, because really, as a player, you know, you should go, oh, fuck it, it happened. Motivation, get your head down and try and outplay any decision that can go against you. But you know, we just look like we look lost.
Yeah, we look shell shocked. Is the what I keep hearing over and over again. I think it's such a good way of putting it. We really did look shell shocked. You know? And I agree with lost as well. I think one of the reasons we look so lost is because new system, we don't know our roles, we don't know what we're supposed to be doing.
Exactly. And then that goes full circle to Allardyce.
It is my whole thing about that lost thing. No, when we go behind, I just have a look at the squad, have a look at the players. I'm telling you now, there's not one leader on that pitch at all. I'm convinced, and I've been wanting to say this for a while, but I haven't really had the right platform because I haven't been on for a few weeks. But I'm convinced the squad don't mingle with each other. You know, I think our squad is made up of clans, and I don't think that there's a team spirit there whatsoever. Now, I think 10 years ago, that kind of the late noughties, that's what Everton were built on. They all worked for each other. I don't think this group at the moment. I'm convinced that there's players that don't speak to each other day in, day out in that group, and you can see it on the pitch. You see a player go down injured, nobody goes over to see if he's all right. Just when they're talking, there's one or two of them talking, and I think that all comes down to proof. That there's no leader there. There's not one of them bringing them all together. There's none of that there, and I think that's why we always look so lost. I don't think we're a team. I don't think we have a team spirit. I don't think everybody gets on with each other, and I don't think we have any leadership.
I agree. I think I do think there's little groups. Cliques is what we would call them here in high school. You know what I mean?
Cliques is an Anglo-American word, I think.
I wasn't sure if you guys call them the same thing, but But I mean, I know you often you see the Senegalese guys hanging out together on social media. See Ashley Williams and Holgate. Holgate kind of idolizes him, so now they're really close friends and everything. It's been that way for a little while. I feel like you used to see the Belgians hanging out together, and the Spanish-speaking guys hanging out together. A big part of that's language. Yeah. You know, that is a big part of it. But
yeah. It happens at every club. I have no doubt it happens at every club. But I think something's got to bring it all together. I always remember reading that Haman story that was doing the rounds again a couple of weeks ago, where I hate bringing Liverpool into it, but it's the best example. He said that Liverpool, they were all like that, and they'd kind of go eat together in groups. And then I think it was Benitez that said you weren't allowed to finish your lunch and leave until the last person had done so in the squad. And you had to speak to someone new in the squad every day. And then they all got to know each other like that. And that's, I feel like something like that, dare I say, something Benitez has done. But, you know, I think something along those lines needs to happen with the squad in the summer with the new manager.
Would you think Seamus could actually play that role?
Yeah, definitely.
I think so.
I was just going to say, I'm made up. You brought that point up, David, really, because, you know, as you said, late noughties, possibly even, you know, early Martinez years, who'd have thought the team spirit had become a problem with Everton Football Club? You know, that was always something that was so, you know, that was one of the first things that had come to mind whenever you thought of Everton Football Club, really. You know, the spirit was the sort of thing that would drag us through, and to be the thing that would pick those hard results up for us. And, you know, it's just been like a sorry state of affairs over these last few years to see it kind of all deteriorate. And as you say, I think we need to put emphasis on trying to get leaders into the squad.
Yeah.
I mean, what is it? You know, we brought in Wayne Rooney, Ashley Williams, Davy Klassen, you know, all captains.
Sigurdsson. All these people were captains at one point or another.
You know, it just doesn't look like it's happening.
Yeah.
It is strange, though. It seems like there was an effort made to do that. I don't know. It seems, I think, the first thing I think of is soulless. It's like it's just kind of the shell of a football team, kind of, you know, moving from game to game. I did think last game I felt a twitch, you know, not Arsenal, but when Coleman was in, I felt like it was a totally different jolt and a totally different atmosphere. You know, there was this energy there that wasn't there before. It was, let's go out and actually take this, and they cared. I don't know. I think that's Seamus could be the guy. I hope he is. I mentioned the Aubameyang offsides thing, though, because the universe was kind of screwing us anyway, because we got a deflection goal as well. You know what I mean? Deflection goal and an offsides goal, both in the first half. It's kind of shitty when you're already kind of things are not clicking, and bad luck happens as well. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's unfortunate. Some teams have the mindset and they know their roles enough to where when things aren't clicking, a little bad luck doesn't bomb them. You know? We're not there. Hence, you know? The first goal, 3 people missed the cross. 3 players failed to stop that cross. And 1 person did not stay with the man coming through. I feel like that's knowing your roles, knowing what you're supposed to do. Somebody needs to be with that guy, and 3 people missing the cross. That's one of the things they practice specifically, is trying to block crosses, especially for the wingbacks, for fullbacks, you know? But I think Mangala was maybe in the best position to stop that one.
He ended up on the floor, didn't he?
Yeah, missed it. I still don't think Mangala is a bad player. I think there's potential for him to do okay for us.
No. But he's not, you know, why are you putting him in a back 3?
That was when no one else already knows what they're doing either. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Yeah, I mean, I'm with you on that. Just
yeah.
So there were those 2 points. We had some crap luck. Nias hit the post, and should have scored. Should have scored. All right, that it wouldn't have. A lot of this stuff, it makes no difference. We still lost. We still would have lost. Whatever. But it happened, you know.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say I still think Nias is best off the bench. I think he can come in and change games. I don't know.
I don't know how he's become our number 1 striker when we just paid nearly 30 million for one. Surely he should be our number 1 for now and then.
Just on that note as well, you know, I know Allardyce got that question thrown at him after the game, and he was saying, "Oh, his service has been good, but his end product hasn't been good enough." And I want to make something clear, right? There's no substitute for game day. And playing on that football pitch will bring the best out of players. You know, they might be, you know, okay. You know, we've seen this with Sandro and Klassen. You know, it's been said multiple times in his press conferences, "Oh, they're not delivering in training." Right, okay, I understand that you're watching them in training, but when none of the other lads are delivering, just play them. You know, there's
I agree.
chance. It might be a small chance, but being on that pitch and having, you know, being able to have that responsibility of, you know, right, you are the striker for us. You know, we're not playing any other striker. You're the one that the chances are going to fall to, and you're going to have to take them. And I think that's going to have to be the case now, because if we like we've said before, you know, Nias, for all his impact and his running, there's a lot of chances that he should be scoring that he doesn't.
Yeah.
You know, there's any time you see, you know, hit the post, puts it wide, when really they should be shots on targets or in the back of the net.
Yeah, we said it on Friday. Nias scores the ones you don't expect him to score, and he misses the sitters. I think there's a lot of players like that, actually. Calvert-Lewin tends to do that sometimes. You know, he didn't have time to think about that header. He just rose up and did it. You know, he has trouble finishing, though, when he's kind of mano a mano on the breakaway. But a question, though. There are rumors about Tosun not performing in training in terms of either attitude or play. Okay? if you're Sam, do you play him anyway, regardless, in hopes that that's going to get his attitude better? Or if you're trying to send a message to the squad, do you do what Sam's doing? Because we don't know, because we're not there. We don't know what training's like. You know what I mean?
That's always been, that was my defence, if you like, for not playing Klassen and for not playing Sandro. Is yes, okay, they're not playing, but the manager sees them every day in training, and if they're not performing, they're not performing. Okay, granted, but when the lads that are being selected aren't even turning up, and I mean to the levels of getting beat 5-1 by Arsenal, embarrassed. What's the harm in playing your new £30 million striker?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I was expecting him to go in earlier.
Yeah. Well, the problem is now it's Tosin. He hasn't scored a goal. He's been here 4 weeks. I know he hasn't played that much, but now there's more pressure on him to kind of perform and get a goal. So, yeah, he needs to play.
Yeah, and what's funny is Sam says the thing he's not doing well enough is what I think was one of the things I expected him to do best, which is hold-up play. I was expecting him to come in and just come. That was what we needed because we didn't have anyone who could really do it very well. Although to Nias's credit, he's doing it better than he used to now. He's not as bad as he used to be. But we need to have that big body up front to be able to give our midfield time, or what we had as a midfield, anyone time to kind of make their way up the pitch. And we didn't have that on Saturday.
Nope.
So anyway, guys, anything else? I mean, this was a tough one because I'm conflicted. I've been agitated at the result, and I hate seeing players sitting there like slack-assing around the field. But I don't think all of them did that, and and I thought Sam made some awful decisions. But I got to be honest, I think we're going to win the next game. I think he's going to go back to the old system, and he's going to play the players that should be playing, and I think we're going to win.
Yeah, I mean, the Leicester game, for me, that really should have been the catalyst to give them all a kick up the arse and say, you know what, take it to everyone else that we play this season. But of course, like you said, there's this expected loss mentality that seems to be within the club, which I think's a disgrace, really. You shouldn't have that mentality no matter what team you are.
Sam is so cynical. He's so cynical.
Exactly.
He's so worried about just playing the percentages and the stats that's what he's doing. And it's even down to who he's playing. Who costs more? I'll play you. Unless you score. If you score a goal, then I'll plug you in. Nias.
He's already looked at the fixtures and marked what games he's going to win and lose.
Totally.
In his head.
Yeah. I completely think so.
And that's not the mentality that should be in charge of Everton Football Club.
It's not really the motto.
The club's too big for them. We might not be performing now, but the club is too big for him. That's why no one accepts. He might have got away with that elsewhere, but not here.
New motto from Sam for Everton Football Club: nothing but the best against the lower half is good enough. All right, that's because that's what he's gonna bring. That's ridiculous. So that is the end of our Arsenal reaction. Carnage happened. People died. It is what it is. If you're digging the videos, please subscribe. We, slowly making our way up. Slowly making it up. So, throw us a sub. We'd appreciate it. Check out Max's stuff on the Toffee Blues website. Check out David's stuff on the Toffee Blues website. And also on the Sportsman. All right? That's it. We're going to go make more videos. So, bye.